One of my favorite places that I've ever been is the Grand Canyon. And I don't know if you've ever been there before, but it's just larger than life. It doesn't matter how many pictures or videos you see about it. It's totally different when you're there in person. And I remember the first time I was there, somebody at the park ranger, said that something like 92% of the people that visit the Grand Canyon don't actually hike into the Grand Canyon. They just come to the edge at a lookout point, look and take their pictures, maybe walk along what they call the rim of the Grand Canyon. And you can still see how big and amazing the Grand Canyon is from just looking at the edge, just by going up to the railing and taking your pictures and looking around. It's awesome. It's amazing. But on 2 different trips, I've been able to hike down into the Grand Canyon. And I can tell you that the perspective that you get from hiking down into the Grand Canyon is totally different. When you're halfway down, and there's actually this one path that comes out to a point that they call Horseshoe Mesa, and you walk out onto this mesa, and you're about halfway down in the middle of the Grand Canyon, literally juts out into the middle of the Grand Canyon. And you can look up and see how tall it is, and you can look down and see how far it is to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, down to the Colorado River. And it totally changes your perspective and understanding how big and beautiful this wonder of creation is. And I can't help but think about the Catholic Church, how similar those statistics might be, that a huge percentage of the people, probably 92%, are just doing the bare minimum or less than. And how often do we say, what is the least that I have to do to be Catholic? What's the bare minimum that I have to do to get into heaven? When in reality, sure, we can see the beauty of the church by just going to Mass on Sundays. But it doesn't compare to the perspective that we get if we go deeper into our faith, if we make that extra effort. It's not easy to hike down into the Grand Canyon. In fact, some of the paths are pretty rigorous. And the Grand Canyon isn't really on the way to anything. It's kind of out of the way. You have to make a special effort to go there, and you have to make a special effort, block time out of your schedule, take water with you to hike down into the Grand Canyon. But it's worth it. In our faith, it takes extra effort. It takes effort to go to a Bible study, to get involved with something at your parish, or to start something of your own. Read the Bible at home, to do some spiritual reading, to spend time in prayer. These things all take extra time and extra effort. You'll have to plan ahead to make sure that it happens. The deeper we go into our faith, the more we'll appreciate it, the more beauty we'll see. We'll begin to see how huge our faith is, how powerful it is, how beautiful it is. A perspective that you can't get from doing the bare minimum, just coming to the edge, just spending an hour a week going to Mass. So I'm challenging myself, I'm challenging you to go deeper. Wherever you are in your faith, what's the next step? How can you spend more time in prayer, more time in learning about your faith, more time in service, more time giving back to the church? Because when we do that, we'll get a better perspective and we'll appreciate our faith more and be more willing and able to share that with others. And if you get a chance, hike into the Grand Canyon because it's awesome. I'm Kyle Heimann. For more, check out kyleheimann.com.